大家上午好。那首先呢，非常感谢大家今天一大早来参加我们这一个 Inter Summit。那今天在我们这一个 Ballroom B 里面呢，我们第一个 session 是由我们 Sergey 给大家带来的关于怎么样使用我们的 Intel Vtune Amplifier 来优化你的 PMDK 的应用程序的性能。那这个 session 完了之后呢，如果大家有任何的问题呢，也欢迎大家踊跃的来举手提问。那我也会给大家做一个实时的翻译，然后让 Sergey 帮忙来回答大家的一些问题。那现在就有请 Sergey 来帮我们讲解一下我们怎么样用我们的 Vtune 来调试我们的 PMDK。谢谢大家。
Thank you. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about Intel Vtune profiler, and this talk will be mostly from the user perspective. So yesterday, my colleagues, so Sri, Jan, and Jackson did a great introduction and several talks for Vtune capabilities, and I will mostly concentrate my talk for persistent memory, how to optimize persistent memory applications with the help of Vtune. So yeah, this is the agenda. So as the first part of this talk, I will describe main Vtune features that might be helpful for profiling memory issues, and then at the end I will show you two case studies how we use Vtune to profile two existing applications, PMDK and PMDK. So for PMDK, Shimon yesterday did a overview of these key value storage for persistent memory, so I will show something about internals. So, what is a Vtune? So, Vtune is a great tool that provides powerful features which helpful to optimize performance on modern Intel hardware. So, it is able to capture and monitor Intel CPU processor counters and can attribute it to your code, to your application. But the main advantage of Vtune is that compared to regular profiler, which is able to usually attribute performance metrics to the hotspot functions, Vtune is also able to group your performance metrics by memory objects. So there is a memory access analysis that allows to do it. And it's really helpful to optimize performance on regular memory and especially on persistent memory. So it can highlight problems with, for example, data structure layout. And furthermore, recently Vtune added support for Intel ADC persistent memory, and we have some specific counters for this new type of hardware. So this is the three key ingredients Vtune has to analyze memory applications and memory issues. So the first one is a general approach to characterize your application performance. It's microarchitecture characterization. So this type of analysis allows you to understand where you have an issue, where you have a performance issue in your application, where you should put your efforts to optimize performance. So if it's a memory issue, then there is two next steps. You should apply the bandwidth analysis. So Vtune is able to show you the DRAM bandwidth and persistent memory bandwidth, and you can understand how well your application utilizes available bandwidth of your memory. And the last but not least, it's a data profiling feature. This type of analysis allows you to attribute performance metrics to data structures, not to the functions, but data structures, and it helps you to find the issues in your data structure layout. So might be you need to reorganize your data in your application to improve your performance. So what is the microarchitecture characterization? So we are calling it microarchitecture top-down analysis. So the idea of this analysis, so you are trying to so Vtune tries to fit your issue, your application, performance issue to application to one of these groups, right? On the upper level, we have 4 major groups. It's a front-end bound, bad speculation, recurring, and back-end bound. Yeah. So on the highest level, we need to understand to what group our performance issue corresponds. So, and memory issues always fit to the backend bound group, and in the backend bound group we have core bound and memory bound. And memory bound is where your memory issue resides. So, yeah, in my use cases, I will show you how this type of analysis is applied to particular case. And this is how it looks like in Vtune. So in Vtune, when you capturing microarchitecture analysis, you will see the summary page with these groups. And on this slide, I'm just showing only part of this big picture. So this part corresponds to the memory issues. For example, on this particular use case, you can see that our application is memory bound by 75%. What it means? It means that 75% of stalls in your application is caused by memory issues. If you go deeper, we have different subgroups. Your application might be cache bound, so N1 bound, N2 bound, N3 bound, and it could be memory bound, so it means that usually your application is stolen because of CPU waiting some data from the memory. And for persistent memory, actually we added one more metric for the persistent memory bound. Now we can distinguish between DRAM and persistent memory. And on this particular use cases, we can see that our application is persistent memory bound. So, and as I said, the power feature is data profiling. The main advantage of this feature is that, as I said before, performance metrics captured by Vtune, comparing to regular hotspot analysis, attributed to the data structures. And this allows us to recognize issue in a data structure layer. And what's inside? How it works inside? So Vtune is capturing all memory allocations. So by default, Vtune can recognize regular interface for allocating memory is malloc-free. And also we added support for PMDK memory allocation. So out of the box we can support PMDK allocator. But if you have some custom allocators in your application, you can provide special tracing API. So in your code, you can put the special marks using this API and let Vtune know that in this place I have my malloc, in that place I have my free. So if you instrument your custom allocator with this tracing technology, Vtune will recognize it and you will see it in Vtune grouping. And after that, so we can just run our application, capture performance events, and for each sample we have an address, so which data is accessed at some particular time, and having information about memory object, we can attribute performance metrics to the memory objects. So we can correlate these two things. So this is how we achieve attribution of performance metrics to the data structures. Bandwidth analysis. So as I said, so Vtune allows you to evaluate bandwidth of your workload. So right now, Vtune distinguish DRAM bandwidth and persistent memory bandwidth. So at the beginning of the profile, Vtune runs some micro benchmarks to understand the highest possible bandwidth, not theoretical, but real highest possible bandwidth on your system. And after that, you can analyze how well your application utilizes available hardware capabilities. And this is how it looks in Vtune. So we have a histogram on the summary page. So this histogram shows you how well Vtune utilizes bandwidth, and there is groupings by persistent memory and by DRAM. And on the bottom part, we have attribution to memory objects. So you can see that we have 3 different memory objects. It's a source file and the line number where this memory object is allocated. And we can see how each of these 3 memory objects contributes to the bandwidth. Okay, now case studies. So the first study I will talk about is PMDK. This is just a quick overview what PMDK is. And PMDK is an embedded key-value storage designed especially for persistent memory. This is a diagram of architecture of it. So on the bottom we have a PMDK, so our PMDK based on PMDK library. And inside we have different storage engines. So we have a CMAP, S3, and you can contribute your own engine. So, and this particular case study will look at the S3 engine. It's engine based on persistent B+3 implementation. And on the top part, so we have a C++ API, and we have various binding to different languages. So Shimon talked about this yesterday. And to evaluate performance, we have a PMDK bench tool, which is ported from DB bench of RocksDB. So RocksDB is established key-value storage in the industry, and we just decided to port existing DB bench to PMDK. It allows easy comparison between these 2 key-value storages. So this is the command line, how we run the benchmark, so we can repeat it by your own. And before we will look to performance results, I would like to just briefly describe how persistent B+3 works internally. It's important to understand the performance issue. So in this slide, I demonstrate persistent B+3 leaf node and how insert operation, because we are running a few random benchmark, right? And it's just randomly insert elements to the tree. And this is the leaf node data structure layout. So actually it consists of 3 fields. It's an array of entries. So it's a key value array. So each leaf of persistent B+3 contains multiple entries, multiple key value entries. Also we have IDX array and corresponding size. And we have 2 copies of this array. This is the second member of this data structure. It's V array of type of leaf entries. It's this one. And the last is a current value. So current value, it points to one of the leaf entries array. So it just let you know what is the current working copy of IDX array. So, and since each element in the persistent B+3 leaf node should be sorted by keys, so we achieve it through the indirection. So we store key value entries unsorted, but indexes are sorted in the order that accessing keys by these indexes, we are receiving the sorted keys. Yeah, for example, for this particular case, if you access first, then 0, then third, and then second element, we will have a CDE, so which is sorted, right? And how insert works? So let's imagine that we need to insert new entry with key B. So it's pretty simple. We just insert new key value to the X as shown in this picture. But after that, using copy and write approach, we should create new IDX array and put the index of the new entry to the right position. So we should still have the key and value sorted by indexes. Right? And the first step, we are just switching the current value. So it's atomic operation, so it doesn't require transactions. So this is why we can achieve sometimes better performance than PMDK transactions. It's a custom algorithm. Yes, it's just a 3 step. So insert a new key value pair, create new IDX array, and switch the current pointer. And this is the picture from Vtune. So as I mentioned before, from our methodology, we would like to capture first microarchitecture analysis just to confirm that our application is memory bound and has memory issues. So in this picture you can see that 73% goes to the backend bound issues. And it's memory bound, and what's important is a persistent memory bound. Right? So with this picture we just confirm that our application is persistent memory bound, and we should go deeper and investigate what kind of issue we have in our application. This is a bottom-up page, so where we group our performance metrics by memory object. So this is a particular grouping. So on the highest level we have memory object, and if you go deeper, you see offset inside this memory object. So if you have a complex data type, we can go deeper and attribute performance metrics to particular fields in this memory object. It's offsets. And then functions which are accessing this particular offset and allocation step. For this case, we have a memory object which is allocated on this source line. This is the source line which corresponds to the leaf node allocation. If you go deeper, so we see there are multiple offsets, right? And according to this picture, we see the performance metrics. This is the hardware events. This is the H3 misses. And this matrix corresponds to the load which has the latency greater than 4 cycles. And we can see that for this particular offset, there are a lot of loads that exceed this threshold. And there are a lot of cache misses, about 10% cache misses, fits to this particular field. So we have a huge data structure, but there is only one field that causes a lot of performance issues, right? And we can see that at least 3 functions accessing this field, right? The hotspot is blurred across these 3 functions. So it means if you group by functions, we wouldn't see any one function that causes the issue. There are 3 functions that accessing the same field. Then we analyze the code and easily recognize that we have read after flash pattern. Right? What happens during insert? On each insert, we are switching current field. What does it mean? We are reading current value and we update it. And after that, we should flash it just to support data consistency. Yeah? As PMDK guys say, we need to flash our data from caches to persistent memory. So at this time, we invalidate the cache line. And on the next access, we need to read current value again, but this value was flashed. It's not in cache anymore. We have last level cache miss. And this pattern is really very bad for persistent memory. So how to avoid it? So we decided to introduce a shadow copy. So we introduced one more field in our data structure called pcurrent. And the idea is the following. On each insert operation, we are doing insert and we need to update the current value. We are updating the current value and we are propagating this value to pcurrent. So we just assign current value to pcurrent. And after that, we flash only pcurrent. So current value is never flashed right now. So the idea is the following, that the pcurrent is always flashed but never read. So we're always working only with current value. And we expect the performance after this change should increase. but in fact it is not. So after we implemented these changes, we recognized that we still have performance issues. And we analyzed further and find that we have a fault sharing in leaf node. What does it mean? So usually we know that fault sharing might happen in multi-threaded applications. But in our case, we have a single-threaded application for persistent memory, but it's still a fault sharing. What does it mean? This is the layout, the new layout of the leaf node. As I said, we introduced a peak current value, but we still have a current value which is in the same cache line as leaf node entries. What happens inside? So, when we update the second element of leaf entries array and flush it, so the current value resides in the same cache line as this array. And this is a fault sharing situation. So, we do not want to flush current value, but it's flushed implicitly when we flush the second entry of the leaf entry server. So the solution for this is really simple. We just align the fields inside our data structure by the cache line size. This is the final version of our leaf node data structure. So, as you can see, we get align S for entries and align S for peak current. Right now, we are making sure that different fields of this data structure in the different cache lines. And this is just a summary table which shows you the performance increase. This is the initial version. This is the first version when we introduced peak current. And we have no much increase, right? But once we align our fields in the data structure, we have increased our throughput by 10,000 iterations per second. Just a simple case when we just change the layout of data structure and performance increasing. So another case study is response to the Pelican application. So Pelican is a Twitter cache server, and recently it was ported to persistent memory. So internally it used memory mapped files created by the PMDK library, and Pelican just uses this memory mapped file as a memory pool to allocate items inside this memory pool. And right now it supports only graceful shutdown. So it doesn't support fault tolerance, but it expects that everything will stop it correctly and all memory pools will close it correctly. And on restart, the data stored in the memory mapped files can be retrieved. And there is a Kuka storage engine, so it's a Kuka-based cache array with fixed sized items. So each item has the same size. And since this engine doesn't use regular memory allocator and it doesn't use PMDK allocator, there is a custom allocator, we were required to instrument it with Vtune ITT API. So just to let Vtune know that this is the memory object. And after that, Vtune is able to recognize Kuka items as the memory objects and can attribute performance metrics to this object. And again, we start from the microarchitecture characterization. So we found that we are memory bound, and what is interesting for this case, for PMDK, we have only persistent memory accesses. Right now we have DRAM accesses and persistent memory access, but we still persistent memory bound. You can see it, right? For 56% we are persistent memory bound, and we should put our effort to optimize persistent memory issues. Furthermore, if you go deeper to persistent memory bound, so we will see that we are a local persistent memory bound. What does it mean? So on the NUMO machine, we have a 2 socket, but we have only persistent memory accesses to the local node. So the socket access only local persistent memory bound, local persistent memory. And we are not bandwidth bound. Because it's a random access benchmark, it's obvious that it should be latency bound, and this just confirmed. So we are not bandwidth bound, but we are latency bound. So, and this is the data structure for the item, for the cooker item. It consists of several fields. So the first field is expire time, because it's cache. It has a field which tells you when this item will be expired. The next two fields is length of key and length of value. And the last one is data storage. It's an array of bytes that store key and value. And again, we aggregated our profile by memory object. And this is the source line where this item is allocated. And this is grouping by fields. So I just highlight for you that the offsets for each particular field. And we can see that most portion of LLC misses goes to the first field. Yeah. We see that the most cache misses happens when we accessing this field. And this is different functions that accessing this field. Again, hotspot is blurred across multiple functions. This is where the grouping by memory object is very helpful. And our suggestions to Twitter was can we put just this free field? It's just a 9 bytes, just a 9 byte. Yeah. Just 6 bytes. Yeah, just the 6 bytes. Can we put it to DRAM? Because DRAM has lower latency, and it might increase the performance of the application. While we will still have data in the persistent memory. So this analysis just shows you how you can easily optimize your data structure by splitting data between DRAM and persistent memory. So actually that's it, what I have for today. So just to summarize, that optimized memory-bound application, and especially persistent memory-bound application, is a challenging task. But with the help of Vtune, you can easily attribute your data not only to hotspot functions, but to memory objects, because it might be a situation when hotspot is blurred across different functions, but fits to the same cache line, to the same data structures. So if you need any help to optimize your application, or you have any questions, you can always contact us. So Dmitry is a Vtune lead for memory analysis, so we did this presentation together. You can contact us anytime. So this is the link to the tools, so you can visit this page and find the link to the info tools. So that's it. So I'm ready to answer your questions. So James will help me, so you can answer your question on English or China, and she uploaded it.
谢谢四 K 的经常演讲。那接下来呢，如果大家有任何问题的话呢，大家可以现在直接用中文提出来，我给四 K 翻译一下，然后四 K 可以帮忙回答一下大家的问题。那如果大家对我们这里面的 Vtune 的内容以及 case study 还比较感兴趣的话呢，那我们后续会把这一个PPT 到时候会放到我们的那个网页上，然后供大家下载下来，然后后续再去研究一下。第一个 session 就到这里就结束了，谢谢大家。